For last night, of course. Joining me now is Faraji Mohammed. He's a Baltimore peace activist and radio host. Thanks, Faraji, for being with me.
Thank you.
So, standing directly behind us, members of the Maryland National Guard carrying some great big guns. How does that make you feel?
It doesn't make me feel good at all. I think that what we're seeing right now is that my city is truly in pain. My community is in pain. And I think that the atmosphere right now is that it furthers the idea that in order for there to be some real control, there has to be some level of violence. There has to be guns present. There has to be. And this is what the very nature of what young people in the city of Baltimore, particularly black youth, are fighting each and every day. You got police outside of high schools. You got police interaction, the negative police and contentious relationship between police and young people. So this is what we're seeing every day. So this is not helping. And so essentially what we've been seeing, especially from last night, as we were out in the community at North in Pennsylvania, what we saw last night is that as much as there was damage to property, as much as there was damage, fires and everything, there was pain, Carol. There was real pain. And I was, me and my brothers from the NOI and FOI and many other pastors, and we were standing there, and you can hear young people screaming out the names of folks that have been killed by police or died in police custody. So they're throwing rocks, and you killed my cousin. You killed my sister. You killed my brother. That's pain. So I think that outside of all of the property damage, we got to talk about the great damage of human beings and the lives that have been shed.
See, I can understand that pain. What I can't understand is destroying your own neighborhood. Destroying businesses.
You know what? I mean, look,
like CVS, that's the only drugstore in their neighborhood.
Right, and you know what? Sometimes that emotion and rage comes out in such a way, it's emotional, it's very raw. What we're doing right now is that myself representing Piece by Piece Baltimore, and you got leaders of the beautiful struggle, you got churches, you got the nation, you got other folks that are out right now that are helping to clean up that part of town right now. And so, yeah, we can say, well, don't understand it, but that's young people. That's that raw emotion. But here's one thing I want us to keep in mind. This is our movement. So we're not going to disassociate ourselves from what's been happening. The real issue, outside of all of the damage and the fires and the arrests, is that we're looking for justice. And on the ground level, that's what
the sad part about this is everybody's talking about the violence. They're not talking about justice for Freddie Gray anymore. They're talking about these idiots like looting stores and setting buildings on fire.
Well, see, you can say that, but at the end of the day, when you use certain language, like you said, idiots or use thugs, then what about those who broke the spine of a man and while they had him in custody? Are they not thugs? You know?
I would say if they're guilty of that, I would say yes, they are.
Yeah, because the fact is, all of this stuff that's happening, we're not seeing young people killing one another. We're seeing greater unity between the Bloods and the Crips, between various communities. And let me just say this.
See, I've talked to more than one person who bring in the Bloods and the Crips and congratulate them for the way they acted. But these are violent criminal gangs.
At the very
you really want them part of the movement?
Absolutely.
Really?
Because all they have to do is be exposed to some great guidance. All they have to do is be exposed to those brothers and sisters that are going to take that same energy. If you got the energy to destroy, then you got the energy to restore and to build. And so that's what we're doing. That's the work that we're doing on the ground level. That's why they're part of it, because these are young men who have the strength to stand up and not be afraid. And what we saw last night, there was this talk about credible source and all of those things that they're going to take out law enforcement. Those brothers in the Bloods, the Crips, the BGF, they were right there on the front line with us trying to keep the peace in the neighborhood.
Okay, so who are the people? I mean, there's Security Square Mall shut down because there's some credible threats there. They can't take a chance on that. So who are those people that's forcing that to happen? I assume they're young people, just like the young people who shut down Mondawmin Mall, who were inspired by this movie, Purge, which is about a day of anarchy granted to the citizens each day, and supposedly they're acting that out.
Sure, and I'm familiar with the movie. I don't know all the time that, here's the other part about this, is that young people today need to understand that this is not a movie, that this is real life. You got the National Guard out here. You got all these resources, military-wise, coming into the city. So at this point, we need to make sure that young people are not seeing it, because I don't want to see the loss of life when it comes to young people. And I'm sure that there is some anger there. There's years of anger. This just didn't happen overnight. And it certainly didn't happen over the past 10 days. So there's years of feeling of aggression that's caught up in it. It exploded in an ugly way. But at the same time, this is part of our movement. This is the moment. And we need this moment because you need a dark period before you can get to the light. But what we're seeing at the end of the day, Carol, is that we're going to see an emerging consciousness. Baltimore will never be the same, and I hope that's the way it is. I'm hopeful, and I see young people are going to be really on the forefront now of justice and social change in the city. So as ugly as this is, I'm going to accept it. We're going to move from it, but we're going to most importantly grow from it.
The word peace in your organization is P-E-A-C-E.
Yes, right? We're bringing peace to communities left in pieces.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Carol, thank you so much for your time.
So you see her when she was interviewing the other dude, she's talking about division and got a problem with Crips and Bloods. But then she's on here with gay LZ Granderson applauding this lady for beating up her son for wanting to do something positive out there protesting and making a joke out of it like it's something good.
But she made her kid leave, no doubt about that. LZ Granderson joins us now to talk more about what happened in Baltimore last night. Welcome, LZ. As
This
you watch
queer.
this video of this mother chasing her son off the streets, what goes through your mind?
Of course.
Mother of the year. That's what goes through my mind.
What can you applaud about that?
I advocate, generally speaking, beating the crap out of your kids is a form of discipline. But in that situation, she very well could have saved her son.
Embarrassing, demoralizing her son in front of a lot of people.
Like that, that's what goes through my mind.